Did you know that 30% of online gamers are now over 50 years old? They especially like online crossword puzzles and other word-related games. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos and opinions, make sure you visit TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 52. My name is Gareth Briley. I'm going to be your host, and on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Warmest greetings. Hello, one and all. How are we today?
You don't mean that. I can hear it in your voice. It's not warm.
I don't know what you mean. I know it's freezing.
It is freezing, really freezing.
Winter's definitely coming.
And on my virtual right is Mr. William Caruana. Have I said that right, William?
You got it.
Yay!
Yay!
If you haven't listened to the podcast before, I always get William's surname wrong. I've been practicing it for 5 hours today. William, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I didn't get the world's best sleep, but I'm making do. Been a good day.
Now, William is in Toronto in Canada, for
Yes.
people who haven't listened before. So, William, what's the weather like there at the moment? I always like to find out.
It's not bad. It's very cold. It's been pretty overcast these past few days. Lots of rain, but I don't know. It's nothing too bad. It's set to warm up over the weekend, so that'll be nice.
What's the temperature now?
The temperature now.
This is the kind of thing they tune in for. It's the anticipation. William's finding out.
It is currently 15 with a possible low of 60. So, yeah.
Ooh, we're going to find out temperature differences over the course of the next few months.
How do you follow that?
How do you follow that? Well, James, you're going to follow that because you're going to talk about what you did this week. What have you been doing, James?
I've got so much to talk about.
Oh, good.
And so little time.
Great.
Where do I start?
Well,
Shall I bore you with football?
No, don't bore me with football. Start with something else.
Unbelievable. Like The Walking Dead.
Oh, yes.
They finally aired the season finale this week of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I tuned in. I actually watched it today.
Mm.
And I thought, what's going on? I had no idea what had gone on previously. In the build-up, I didn't know why they were fighting. I'd forgotten everything. It's been so long.
So for those who don't know, isn't it? The series went up to March, and the last episode they had to delay till now.
Yeah.
So it's been six, seven months. And you're right.
And there's no recap. It's just straight in.
Yeah.
And it was confusing. But even then, it just isn't a great episode. I don't know if you've seen it, Gareth, or
I've seen it.
William. Do you feel that as a finale, it wasn't great?
William, have you seen it? Are you a Walking Dead fan?
I am a fan of Telltale's Walking Dead. I have never watched the show. So, yeah.
There you go. The first thing I'd say about that show, without spoilers, there's no social distancing going on there between those actors.
Definitely not.
No. And the second thing is, The Walking Dead's finishing next year. And so it's got one more season, and it's probably a good thing.
It should have finished this year.
Yeah.
With the weird sci-fi crossover at the end.
Oh, yeah. 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 No spoilers, though.
No. I won't spoil this one either, but there's a confrontation in the finale with big characters, and they completely ruin what could have been something very special. It's over so quickly.
Yeah.
You've got this big anticipation, and like, wow, what are they going to do? And then it's just done.
Yeah.
And they wasted it. So yeah, the best part of my week was watching that. It's not great.
No,
I won't recommend it to anyone.
It does need to. It needs to. It's one of those things, and I've got a couple of things like this. And Walking Dead, it feels like I've got to just get through it and finish it. The Arrow and the Flash series, I've gone to the last series. I've never finished it, so I don't think I will go. I'm just not going to bother going back. I'm happy without it. William, have you got a series that you just carry on watching even though you don't know why?
Well, to be honest, that was Arrow for a good while. Season 4, ouch. We don't talk about season 4. Season 5 was good, and then season 6, I think I just dropped off the ship there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I think because most of what I watch is on streaming these days, there's less catching up on a week-by-week basis. I am still watching The Boys. That's probably the only one that I'm doing on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's very good. I'm enjoying that a lot. And William, what have you been doing this week?
Okay, so the highlight of James this week was a mediocre episode of Walking Dead. I think I have him beat because the highlight of my week has been walking to McDonald's to get coffee because they brought Monopoly back. And so pretty much the perfect middle point between my two vices of problem gambling and fast food comes Monopoly McDonald's. And to my credit, I've actually had good luck here. I won a pair of headphones this morning.
Wow!
Yeah, and I won a Big Mac the other day, so that was nice as well. So yeah.
William, I've got some questions. So for people who don't know, is it like a scratch card you get for Monopoly? Is it? How does it work?
Do you not have it in the UK?
I think we do, but I'm a vegetarian, so I don't really go into McDonald's. But some other people.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's basically you peel off two pieces, and so some of them are instant win prizes. Like today, I said I won a pair of headphones. I actually won $20 off a pair of headphones, and the cheapest is $20. So I won a pair of headphones.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have instant win prizes, and then the other thing is you need to collect a set like you would in Monopoly. So, it's tailored to the local Canadian market here, so it's all Canadian landmarks and streets and things, but just using the basic rules, it's if you collect Hug Place and Boardwalk, then you used to get $1 million. That was 100,000. Now it's 10,000. So the prizes have definitely gone down in value, and there's more of them. But the idea is just that you collect pieces for a collect and win prize, and then you have the instant wins as well. So
okay.
Yeah.
Next time, William, stream it. It's be instant streaming. You. See what you can win. That's good going, that is. I think I might go to McDonald's. Wish they'd do it here. Yeah.
Very addictive.
Really addictive.
Once you get one core, you're like, I need one more. Should get another Big Mac.
Yeah. It's like Ultimate Team Packs.
It is. Just like
I can tell you the majority of... the funny thing is I'm not even that big on McDonald's, but I like the game, and so for me, it's just a lot of hash browns and coffee. That's what I order. So, yeah.
Good. Now, the thing that I'm going to we'll just briefly chat about, and then we get on to some game news, is in the UK, William, and James, we had this week, because of COVID and because of everything that's happened, Cineworld has closed its...
Yes, that's right. They almost bought our big chain Cineplex, and the deal fell through at the last minute.
Right. And there's a thing called... Have you got picture houses? You have, haven't you, James, where you are? Have you got picture houses?
I believe we have.
Yeah, they've gone as well. Yeah, and it's so there's a big question about cinema, and the Prime Minister, he's come out and said, go to the cinema, but no one's going to the cinema because there isn't many films to see because everything has been delayed. So what happened this week, we knew James Bond was delayed to April 2021, and Batman and Jurassic World has been delayed to 2022. The whole Marvel stuff has been delayed as well and pushed back. And it kind of raises the question at the moment, is cinemas on an edge
And it was on an edge before COVID, but it was quite healthily on that edge. And I've been thinking and chatting to people this week about whether films, the way we would do it, if we go back to this normal after all this has happened, whether people will go back to cinemas. Now, bear me out, because I think with Disney Channel, and they had Mulan, which was the live action version of that, and that was going to be out in March. And then they did it as a premium purchase.
On demand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like $20 or something, wasn't it? Or something like that, maybe a bit more.
35 here.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thought is, are people like Disney, who've got Star Wars, Marvel, and all their other stuff, are they probably thinking, maybe are we looking to go down that full time with cinema into the future? Do you think that might be what people want now? They're so used to watching stuff at home. What do you think? James, what do you think?
I think now that most people have got quite decent tellies, I think having the home cinema experience is a lot easier. So, given the fact that most of these cinemas probably won't recover, even the ones that have got like reruns of old films, they're not going to look in. So it makes sense to stream from home. It's just a matter of wouldn't make as much money when you could buy, say, one film for 20 quid and 10 of you could watch it. Whereas at the cinema, that would be 10 tickets.
Yeah.
It won't be as lucrative, but it's better than getting nothing when the cinemas are all dead. But yeah, I could see him definitely going down that route.
William, what do you think?
Has to be.
Okay, so I am a business student, but I am also a film student. That's my minor.
Ah, yes.
So I really believe in the cinematic experience. I've been going to the theater as much as possible these days because I know that with the way it's going, we're probably going to be in lockdown here again by the end of next week. So I just need to get these in while I still can, so to speak. But I think the theaters will hurt. They'll need government bailouts, but I think in the long run they're going to be okay. And the reason I say that is, as it currently stands, the premium video on demand model is great for smaller films like Bill and Ted, but it's not, and Trolls, but it's not sustainable for the big films like Mulan. I think I read a report that they're still going to lose $100 million on this movie.
Wow.
So that really leaves them with two options. And I think it's pretty clear Disney has not released the numbers for Mulan. If the numbers were good, they would be bragging about it all over the place. But it's pretty telling that they moved back the Marvel movies instead of saying, we're going to put them straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, it is sustainable for models like Game Pass or Netflix to release bigger products if you have a consistent subscriber base. But the problem is, people have a limit to what they're willing to subscribe to. Like, as it currently stands, I'm not subscribed to Disney Plus. The only times I am subscribed to it is when The Mandalorian is on. So, when you have enough of those, it's really only the companies that become ubiquitous. That's why Microsoft is really pushing, why they bought Bethesda and everything, to have Game Pass be the Netflix of gaming, because as it currently stands, Netflix is really in a league of its own. Disney Plus has 50 million, Netflix has 200, and Disney Plus is the most successful. HBO Max, Peacock, they're all big flops. So I think for better or worse, we are going to see the theaters start to reopen. I think we are going to see more corporate consolidation. So, for example, Hulu, if you know Hulu, once upon a time was owned by Disney, Fox, before Disney bought Fox, Warner Brothers, and Comcast Universal. And they co-owned it, so there would be no competitive advantage to one or the other. Now, of course, Disney bought it all out in the end, but the point is, it wouldn't surprise me if a Cineworld or an AMC or even a Cineplex here is bought out by a coalition of the studios, because it's the only way that they're able to make money.
Mm.
The cinemas don't make money on the films; they make the money on the concessions.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I think we're going to see some close, but I think it's the only business model that works well enough through every studio.
I think you're absolutely right. That's a really good. Thank God we got William on film student, a business student. I think the problem we know with film back when I was a teenager, let's say back in the sort of 90s, a film like Pulp Fiction, for example, which was made for 8 million, or Reservoir Dogs, which was made for 2, could suddenly make a lot of money because the cinema experience was much more, people were going. Those kind of like medium budget films, and that probably the Pulp Fiction budget of 8 million is like a $30 million movie now. Those films have a harder time with a cinema audience now, and because cinemas are very expensive to go to. If you go to the bigger ones here, especially where I am in London. So the things that make money, and correct me if I'm wrong, William, are the huge mega films, the Marvels, the Star Wars,
and the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Yes and no. The ones who make money are either the really big ones like that, or the really small ones.
That's what I was going to say next. The very small budgets. Yeah. And that medium budget movie they found a home at Netflix, or they found a home at Amazon. That's what hopefully some of them, so they can put them on there. Okay, good. Thank you, William. That's good. It's interesting to see what happens. It's really sad for Cineworld here and all the staff that work here.
All the employees.
Yeah, it's awful.
They just got back to work. Everyone's like, "Oh, Tenet's gonna be this big hit," and then it just wasn't.
No.
I mean, I think it was the wrong movie, to be honest. I don't think it's as audience friendly as Wonder Woman, but I don't know.
No, it's really. I mean, our thoughts go out to them, because it's just horrible, and also these huge buildings empty, as well. It's just Good. Let's go on to gaming stuff. Now, we had a big reveal with the PlayStation 5. Well, it was it was a breakdown, wasn't it? What was it? How would you describe it, William?
Okay, so we finally got a look at the internals of the system. They have been very tight-lipped on this. Mike Cerny, the lead engineer, said we were getting one real soon, and that was back in March. We finally got one Monday, so a little overdue. But, no, we got to see the internals, how it's cooling. They have a liquid metal solution, everything. We got to see the system on chip, which is, I believe, 50% smaller than the Xbox Series X's, but still pretty decent in terms of power. It's 9.3 teraflops overclocked to 10, compared to 12 consistent on the Series X. I think the biggest takeaway is it's a big boy. It's a really big system. It's probably the biggest since the Atari 5200.
Wow.
And it's absolutely massive, and it has a couple of caveats. Like, to put it on its side, I believe you pre-ordered one, Gareth, didn't you?
I have got one, yeah. We'll see.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. I'll be getting my hands on it a week earlier, so I can send you pictures.
Yeah.
But to put it on its side, you have to unscrew the stand and then screw it in on a different side area. You have to do that, and you have to tear apart the system to expand the storage, compared to the Series X, where it's just a plug-in. So it's not perfect. It's got a lot of issues in terms of design in that sense, but from what I've been hearing, it's very quiet. And compared to the PS4 Pro jet engine, that's ultimately what matters. Is it keeps cool, it doesn't overheat, and it's quiet. So, these are slight inconveniences, but
now let's just talk through the storage again. So how does this? To get more storage, you have to do what?
You have to open up the system and manually put an SSD that meets the required specifications into a specific slot. Now, the advantage here is it's not proprietary, unlike Microsoft's, so it might be cheaper in the long run. The disadvantage is it's a pain in the ass. Pardon my French.
Exactly.
James,
with the Series X, you only have to plug in a code and can pull it out. With this one, you have to take a screwdriver to your PlayStation.
That's mad. James, would you do that? Would you be up for that?
Not a chance. It's a good job I only play one game a year on PlayStation. I wouldn't need to put any more storage in.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't bother doing that.
You think it's...
Or changing it sideways and messing about with that as well.
I think most of us will find a place for it, whether it's side or vertical or horizontal, and then it would never move.
Yeah, I've got a whole shelf for it set aside.
Right, and it is big, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like 15 by 10 or something. It's for comparison, the Series X is something like 6 by 6 by 8, so it's not really comparable.
Yeah,
it's massive.
And we're less than a month away. A month away for you. Well, we are a month away, and a month away for us here with the Xbox Series X. Yeah. Wow. Can we just talk through a couple of other points of the PlayStation? Did you see, James? Did you ever look at the trophy stuff? Do you understand the PlayStation trophy? I know we.
I don't understand PlayStation.
Have I asked the wrong person here, haven't
I? I literally have 3 trophies, or 4, in my entire PlayStation 4 life.
Is that for a pinball game?
No, 2 are for a free game. Yeah. One's Fall Guys, and the other one's an anime game.
So, William,
I have no idea.
You talk us through trophies, because they're changing, aren't they?
Yes, they are. To be honest, I don't quite know the full system. It's something like they track your points as to how close you are to a trophy. So my guess is it's something like, through Xbox achievements, they'll say 67% of the way there.
Oh,
this
I see,
one
right.
gives you a gamer score equivalent of, like, let's say a trophy is worth 100 gamer score equivalency. They'll give you 68 for that. That's my understanding of the new system. I might be way off here.
Yeah.
But the typical trophy way, with Microsoft, it was often you get achievements that are 100, you get achievements that are 50, you get achievements that or Chivos that are 25 or 10, and then for trophies, the 25 or 10 equivalents are bronze, the 50s are silver, the 100s are gold, and then finally the trophy that you get for completing it is platinum. That's my understanding of it.
Right.
To be honest, I never understood trophies.
No, they're always something that I've just don't know what it is. I don't work out the numbers. Yeah, but that's okay. So it's changing for people. And the last other bit of PlayStation news, I'm going to move us along, is everyone's favourite game, Bugsnax.
Yes.
Is a day one PS5 game. Now, everyone laughed about Bugsnax, but I liked Bugsnax the second time I saw it. And it's getting some nice little preview articles written about it. People have had some hands-on times. James, you happy about that? Bugsnax? I know you're not getting a PlayStation.
Well, there's a new trailer out, isn't there? With the voiceover actors and the characters. I've got to be honest, I watched it and it did nothing for me. I just don't get... It looks fun and cute and silly, but I just don't get the draw.
No.
I mean, even the trailer, by the end they were just saying the character's name over and over again. It was like Matt Damon in Team America.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that one.
It's not for you. But it's good.
No.
I mean, they've got another day one release.
Yeah, which is always good.
But it's not a PlayStation. Now, can I clarify 2 things? You two might know. I know, James, it's not your best subject, PlayStation, but
I might know.
You might know. Bugsnax is a third-party game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it will be coming to Xbox at some point.
Yeah, it's a timed exclusive
Yeah.
like Final Fantasy 16 or Deathloop. It'll come about a year after.
And Godfall isn't third party as well.
Yes, it's Gearbox publishing.
I thought it was a PlayStation. I thought that was one of their key games, but that's coming day one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yes.
Yeah, but it's
like
time.
how we have Falconeer and Medium and
Right.
Bright Memory, not Infinite, but just Bright Memory coming to Xbox. These are third-party timed exclusives, so not a first-party game, but money still probably exchanged hands.
Yeah.
Think of that. Yeah.
Good. Well, it's good. There's a lot of games coming out in November. If you've got both those consoles, and all the stuff's coming out in November, December, that's a load of games. Better get busy.
I am primarily an Xbox gamer. I still will be, but it's looking like the PS5 is going to be getting the brunt of my playtime because, good God, Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, Destruction All-Stars, and Bugsnax, and the backwards compatible games of the PS4 that I didn't play. That's pretty enticing for launch. I'll say that.
Yeah, very good, very exciting. Did we have a look at the NBA 2K21, which I've got?
Certainly did.
And they had a little video of their next gen presentation.
Yeah.
James, what do you think?
I think they tried to capture the entire atmosphere of the game, rather than just, the players. I mean, the players look fantastic.
Yeah.
The sweat, I think there was veins in the neck of one of the guys. But just seeing the crowd in the background, it feels more natural. It looks incredible. I'm not going to lie.
No.
Until you get close up. When you get close up with the crowd, it's a little bit out of date. But in the middle of a game, it looks the part. And the lighting's incredible.
That's the key, is the lighting. That's what I can see from that trailer. It's all lighting. A big part of it. It's amazing.
It's at half-time. At the half-time show.
Yeah, and the colours as well. Really interesting what they do. And I've got the NBA 2K21 game, so it's really interesting seeing that trailer. Wow.
Difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been built from the ground up completely. The Series X version on PlayStation 5.
Wow. And do you think we're going to talk about FIFA in a minute? Do you think FIFA will have a difference like that, or do you think it's just going to be a slight change?
Let me think. Can they be bothered? Probably not.
We'll talk about FIFA and our annoyment. But he does look good, doesn't he, William? He looks really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really care for any non-golf sports games, or racing, most sports. But by the same token, in terms of just a sheer tech demo of what these systems can do, it's stupidly impressive.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be really exciting. The next bit we had here was just a little bit of Watch Dogs news. Now, Watch Dogs is coming out this month. I can't believe that's coming out as well. I forgot about that. And we're very excited. Well, I'm excited about that. I think, William, you're excited about that, aren't you? Very much.
Yep, just got my pre-order in.
There we go.
Very, very excited for Watch Dogs.
And we got some information about some new story trailer, and also their post-launch stuff, which is the multiplayer. Is the thing we're going to chat about here. And the multiplayer is coming out on December the 3rd. I think I got that right. Without looking at the thing.
Sounds right.
What do we think about? Now we had some multiplayer in Watch Dogs 2, didn't we? Is it needed? Is it fun, the Watch Dogs multiplayer? I can't remember. James?
It wasn't. When we played it wasn't that fun.
But it wasn't fun because we were rubbish.
Yeah, but this seems to have more focused co-op missions. That seemed a little bit half-hearted in the second one.
Right.
But yeah, I think it could be fun. And I'm glad that they're bringing back is it the invasions? Where people can sneak into your world.
So talk us
Yeah,
through
that was so much
how does that work?
Basically, someone can invade your world and start hacking you. And you have to figure out who they are.
Ah, yes, I remember this. That was great. Yeah.
And it's
That was
so funny
bloody.
when they can't see you and they've no idea where you are. It's just a great, innovative game mode.
Yes, that was really good. And so that will be back in 3rd of December. Okay.
Yes.
William, anything that makes it fun for you there? Interest?
Honestly, I really do enjoy the look of the game. I like that they're committed to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, the multiplayer is free as well, right?
Yeah.
So, it just looks like a good time. It looks like a game that I will enjoy playing. It seems to be a really good technical showpiece for the next generation with the ray tracing, with the 60 frames per second, with the 4K. And I'm just looking forward to diving into it. I had a good time with what I've played of Watch Dogs, the original, and I have 2 installed on my laptop. I should probably give it that one a try.
Get 2 on, because 2's brilliant. First one's good, so 2's really good.
But no, I think the biggest thing here, and a lot of people seem to be saying this in the hands-on impressions, is I'm sick of the Ubisoft formula. I'm sick of the same sort of open worlds and the Ubisoft towers and everything. And they're sitting back going, this is a complete reinvention of our formula. We're doing something new. We're doing something that hasn't really been done on this level before, and it looks like they're nailing it. This is the Ubisoft that I loved last generation, and I'm seeing those flashes of brilliance again.
Good. Well, we'll see. Not got long to go. We're at the end of the month, 29th. A couple of more really, a smaller thing. Fall Guys Season 2 is out today, on October the 8th, on the Thursday. We're reporting that for people out there. And the other bit was, William, you've heard some news about the Medium is maybe coming very soon.
Yes, they just tweeted out. So this is supposedly the news we've been waiting for. So that is tomorrow, I want to say, at 4 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock.
Right.
Sorry, no, I have the wrong time. It should be coming in around 2 o'clock your time, 9 o'clock my time.
Okay.
So so they say this is what we're waiting for, and everyone's been saying where's the release date. So fingers crossed, like Bug Snacks, Xbox will be getting their big third party day one exclusive.
I mean, that would be a massive thing for Xbox. I mean, Xbox's launch lineup is looking pretty good, but that would be huge, I think, for them.
Yeah, a system selling exclusive that shows the power of the next generation. I think Xbox needs that, and the Medium fits that.
Yeah.
So.
James, you won't be playing it, will you?
No. It looks a little bit too scary for me.
Yeah, it does look a bit scary for you, but it will look impressive. I'm really looking forward to that.
Which is why it surprises me. I don't like Bug Snacks. That's more my kind of game.
You hate Bug Snacks. You hate them.
I do.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Good. Right, that's the news. Let's go to what we've been playing this week. I'm going to start with William, go to me, and then finish on James, because we have a big chat about that. William, what have you been playing?
Okay, so I've been playing Prey, the original Prey from 2006.
Wow.
By Human Head Studios, which recently went under but was bought up by ZeniMax Bethesda. The team was brought on as Roundhouse, and now they're going to be making games for Xbox. And so I was looking at their gamography, and I'm like, really, these guys, the Quiet Man developers, what's going on? And then everyone's telling me, you have to play the original Prey. And by God, it is so good. In terms of first-person shooters that I love, this is up there with Portal 2 and Halo. I cannot stress enough, it is an excellent game. It's 30 frames per second, but it's so well optimized it feels like 60. The atmosphere, the story, the horror, the gunplay, it's really good, and it does a lot of things that games of its contemporary, including Portal, would later lift from this game. It's a trailblazer, and I really wish they got to make that Prey 2 that they were teasing a while ago. I mean, there is the Arcane reboot, but my understanding is that has nothing to do with Prey. That was designed as a spiritual successor to System Shock and Factorio, and then ZeniMax decided to throw the Prey name on it for a quick buck. Not to say that the game is bad, by all means. I've heard it's fantastic. It's just completely different. So
I had a problem with the remake, not the remake, the reimagining of Prey, because I just played Dishonored, and I suddenly played that, and it was by the same team and thing, and it was very similar. I found it really similar, so it was too much. So I stopped halfway through. I like to go back again, but on the original, I loved Prey when it came out. It was on the 360. It was in the first year of the 360, I think.
Yes, it was.
And I do remember. I remember it really clear. When you were talking then, I remember the level. Is the whole thing with gravity as well, isn't it?
Yes. The light bridges. So
that's right. Yeah.
Or walkways. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really. James, have you played it?
I vaguely remember renting that and that and Bioshock from Blockbusters.
Oh, really? You picked great games as well.
And they both went back after 5 minutes
of
playing it.
Why?
I had no intention of playing either of those games. Not for me.
Not for you.
Really?
Scared?
It's Bioshock. It's overrated.
It's not overrated. Bioshock is brilliant. Wow. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, James. But you're mad.
Yeah. I know. I'm always different.
No, I'm with William on this. I remember it really fondly, and I did think, there will be a sequel, because it did really well, and it was a great story as well.
Prey will return.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great. Yes, definitely a good one to play. I've been playing because I'm reviewing it for the Xbox Hub, is Star Wars Squadrons. So I've been doing that for the last week and a bit. And I was excited about it. I think, William, you were very excited about it. I know you've played it, and a few others. I was really excited about it. I was really interested in going back to a kind of like flight battle sim. So the game is in sort of two halves, really. There's a campaign mode that, if you're playing the game, they kind of advise you to do the campaign before you go into multiplayer. And the campaign's about 7 to 8 hours. So I've just finished the campaign. And it's good. It's really good. It's good. You know, you've got nice cutscenes. It's Star Wars. You play a couple of missions in a squadron on the dark side for the Empire, and then you play a couple of missions for the New Republic, which are the rebels. And you swap between the two things, and it's basically, there's a story there. It really reminded me of Wing Commander, if any of you played that, where you would go out, you have a space battle, and then you come back into your base, and then you just chat to people and chat to people for a while. They tell you some stuff about the story, and then you have a briefing, and then you go out and shoot things again. All the stuff that they do it well. The gameplay stuff, I think it's good. When I first played it, when I first started the first couple of hours, I was like, oh, this is great. I was sort of like ducking in and out of things, and it was like, I was almost gasping if I went too close to a ship. 6 hours later, it starts to get a bit too samey for me. And
that's fair.
And I think there are kind of pacing problems as well with some of the gameplay and the story. But it's good. It's good. I think us people who are kind of flight battle sim people will have a lot, would love this, I think. And I think if you've got VR, I think it would be very special because it's all designed. The way you're just, when you've got the chatty scenes, you're kind of just, you're static and you're you're looking around, and yeah, I think for VR people, I think it's going to be great. And the multiplayer is good fun. We've had a few goes at it. I've played it quite a bit. It's good fun, but there's not enough. Well, James, there's not enough modes. There's not enough maps for me, and yeah. First of all, James, you've played the multiplayer. What do you think?
I went in there with an open mind.
Yeah.
Expecting a decent flight sim style game, with good shooting mechanics and good visuals. And it just didn't really deliver it in any area. I thought the maps looked very drab, apart from the one with the ship. I went inside the ship. The other maps were just so boring. And even the shooting, you never feel like you're connecting with anything every time you fire. There's no feedback. There's no... again, I think if you're in VR, you get the sense of, this is really cool. But without VR, I just didn't get immersed in any of it. I'm not sure why.
The sound's good. The sound is very good, I think.
Yeah. I'll give that. Yeah.
William, what's your thoughts? Because you've played it and traded it, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I was very excited for this game. You can look back on our Gamescom special, and I was just so excited for this, but it just didn't deliver for me. I was encountering, even in the tutorial, game-breaking bugs where I couldn't progress properly. I was getting motion sick after playing it for a little bit. I didn't find the controls to be intuitive. I think this would have done better had they either gone full arcade like Starfighter Assault in Battlefront 2, which I love. I love Starfighter Assault. Or if they went full sim and took a couple cards from Microsoft Flight Simulator, for example. Because that is a game with significantly more complex simulator elements that is translated far better to a controller than this one. I felt shifting throttle and pitch and roll to the left stick was a mistake. Now, granted, I could have taken the time to customize the controls, but it was just reaching a point where I wasn't enjoying myself playing it. I was struggling to get an online match. The story hadn't gripped me. It was the same Imperial turncoat we've seen 100 times in these. And so it just didn't do anything for me. Now, that being said, I think it is a games as a service, as I recall, and it will probably be added to EA Play, which is being put into Game Pass Ultimate. So I think, and it is coming to Game Pass PC. So I think maybe in 8 months, I'll try it out on the laptop. I'll try it out with a keyboard and mouse. And maybe by then it will be the game that I hoped it was. But I think it mostly has an identity crisis where it's too simmy to be arcade fun, but too arcadey to be a full deep sim like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think that is really fair.
Completely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it's just a lot of kind of like... I mean, I think you were right about the story. I think they were all doing a very good... I mean, makes me every time you just all the Empire are British. It really makes me laugh every time. It always is in Star Wars. And then
they're evil.
Yeah, because they're evil. But it's not that. I think the story just doesn't go anywhere. It has no arc. It just doesn't. There's nothing there. It just loads of people just chatting, and it's the same thing. If you could summarize the story, it doesn't go anywhere over the whole 8 hours. Really, you could do it in 10 minutes, and that's always. The great thing about things like, I'm going to compare it again to Wing Commander, there was relationships you were building up in those kind of like, you're not really building up anything at all. Yeah, it was, but there was some, and also the other bit, I'm just going to say one more thing, I've enjoyed myself. When you sort of bounce off things, So when I first did it and went, oh, I've nearly hit that, it was such a moment. But when I go and just bounce off an asteroid,
Yeah.
that just loses it for me. I'd rather die,
Yeah.
or crash
Yeah,
or
I
get killed.
accepted that.
And that's how it worked in Starfighter Assault. You crashed into anything at any sort of speed above, 2 parsecs or knots or whatever you want to call it, an hour.
Yeah.
You would just crash and burn.
Yeah.
And it just, I think that's what I'm saying. Where I say it's not arcadey or sim enough here is just moments like that. Now, I get why they did that, because the first-person perspective, in particular in the TIE fighters, can be very restrictive.
Mm.
But, again, they supposedly did that for balancing, but they should have just done a third-person camera. Again, Starfighter Assault was balanced and fun and had a third-person camera.
Yeah.
And then you could crash and burn into whatever you want.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, gentlemen. Right, the last one we're going to chat about is James. What is it?
It's FIFA 21.
What's
the
this
most
indie game?
highly anticipated football game of the year.
Right. Yeah.
By me. I haven't played all the modes yet, but they've included quite a lot of new features to the mode that I have played. It's a football game, in case anyone's wondering. And it's not going to change massively, because it is still a football game. But they've improved the Ultimate Team mode to include co-op, which I think many people are looking forward to playing. And we played it, didn't we, Gareth?
Yeah, we tried to.
Yeah, and what happened?
It doesn't work yet.
No.
We think it's going to, because we've got early access, so I think it's going to work maybe tomorrow, we hope. You can't get into a game at the moment.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
But they've only done 2 updates.
Say that again, William.
Sorry, in terms of early access, are you playing with review codes, or is this the EA Play early access?
The EA Play, so we've had it since Tuesday, full game.
And they haven't even... So this is a public early access, and they haven't had the co-op yet?
Unless it's me and James's servers.
This is the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Edition early access.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they still haven't fixed it.
No.
And they've done 2 updates since.
That's
and they've patched nothing. It is. So I was really looking forward to that mode.
Play early, not to be a canary in a coal mine or a guinea pig. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we have noticed the gameplay is quite good this year. It's a bit slower. You've got to take a more considered approach to everything that you do, which makes it more tactical. And it reminds me of Pro Evo of maybe 10 years ago, when Pro Evo was good. Because you've got to stay on balance when you're passing, when you're shooting, otherwise your accuracy goes down. There's new crossing, so many new crossing inputs. So on the gameplay front, it's probably the biggest overhaul they've done in years. But the new features in the game modes, they've really got the ball. Really dropped it. So we need to fix it. But
I mean, they've done their money things. Their money things are the Ultimate Team is quite good. They've done some good updates there. They've done a nice thing with the stadium thing. You can collect chants from around the world and update your stadium with different customizations. And
yeah, it's not a game seller.
No.
They don't really sell the game to anyone. But the stuff that is, they've let themselves down with at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a thing, William, in the thing. We play pro clubs, so we play as a club, a few of us, right? And one of one of the bugs it's got at the moment, if we all go up front, there's a bug in it that can swap us around. So suddenly James is playing as my character and I'm playing as his.
And although that's a treat for Gareth, it's a disaster for me.
So we've worked out what that bug is, and we've tried not to. It's how we set up the game, but they've got to fix it.
Yeah. But it really is worrying that it won't be just us having these issues. It never is. We've experienced loads of issues over the years, and it takes so long to fix them. I hope that, well, by the time the podcast goes out, it'll be day one for everyone. So they have to fix it then. They have to.
You would hope, but who knows?
And William, do you play FIFA? Have you played FIFA before? Are you a FIFA fan, or have I asked you this before?
Well, I played FIFA 10 for the PSP. That's about all.
There you go. Good. Now this is a bit of news that I found out today. I found it today. So what's happened with FIFA is, for people who don't know, big FIFA fans, if you've got your copy of FIFA when you get the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, your FIFA will, for free, go over to be a next-gen version.
Yes.
Yep. What they've said today is only your progress in Ultimate Team and in Voltar, which is the sort of three-a-side street football mode.
Streets.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're the only two modes that your progress will go over to the Xbox Series X. So, for example, all your coins, all your players, they'll be fine. It would just be like you've left off. Anything else in FIFA, like career mode, online seasons,
divisions,
pro clubs that we play, you'll be starting again. You cannot transfer across. And when EA were asked about it, they said we've only had the resources to be able to focus on, for this next gen version, a couple of things we had to prioritize to get this right.
Okay.
So what that means for us, for example, everything we do for the next month in pro clubs, like build players up, like our pros, and put all the stats on, or the club that goes for the leagues, is for nothing, because it all we have to start again. And if you're on career mode and you're playing the game and you've done, 4 seasons taking Colchester to the Premiership, it's for nothing, because you'll have to start again when you get onto the Xbox Series X. Thoughts, James?
I don't quite understand how they can't do career mode. That seems like the easiest one to transfer over, because there's nothing online.
Yeah.
It's all, your own progress. So it's not conflicting with anyone. But it's a big kick in the teeth to lose your club's players and stats. It's like starting Skyrim and upgrading your character and then going, oh, well, now you're a beast. Just start all over again and do it again.
Yeah.
After you've wasted hours and hours.
Oh, in fairness, I put 350 hours on the PS3 version of Skyrim and then started again. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's really hard, because I think a lot of people will be. They wouldn't have known that, I think, until today, and it does make, because people have got day one tomorrow on their Xbox and their PS4s, and they're thinking, what do I do? I'm just going to play on the team then, or I can't play. I'm not going to start a career mode. Our clubs is a bit pointless. It's fine to play together, but it is a bit pointless, isn't it, James? It's a bit like what we're doing.
It's pointless. It's a good job we're going nowhere. We're
still stuck in Division 10. Yeah. But it's also happened to Dirt as well. So with the Dirt game that's coming out, Dirt 5, is it? What was it just called? Yeah. Dirt 5's coming out. So they've said the stuff that you've got in Playgrounds, whatever that is, I think it's like I don't know what that is. It's the...
Gymkhana.
Yeah. But all the career mode will start again when you swap over. So that's happened as well. So obviously there are some kind of issues with saves going over to the Series X. So again with Dirt, if you buy Dirt on day one, which I think is it November, Dirt 5's going out?
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure.
And so I think you're not gonna get it then, are you? If you're upgrading, you're gonna wait, aren't you?
I wouldn't have got FIFA.
Oh wait.
I know.
Don't. Okay. Dude is different. So, what's going on here is the majority of publishers are using Xbox's Smart Delivery program, Codemasters and Dirt included among them, in which everything carries over, including your saves. It does not work that way for FIFA because that's not using Smart Delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I'm putting on my tinfoil conspiracy theory hat. For a lot of games on PlayStation, Dirt 5 included, your progress isn't carrying over because they are considered two separate SKUs. So the progress can't carry over between the two except for what's kept on the servers. Now, there are exceptions to this, but that's why games like Avengers will have your data carry over, but games like Dirt 5 won't have it carry over beyond Playgrounds. Now, PlayStation has the marketing deal for FIFA. Does it really look good on them if Xbox has this big advantage of saves carrying over, whereas PlayStation doesn't because of how their backwards compatibility system works? Now, of course, I could be way off here, but we have seen situations like that in the past on both Microsoft and Sony's parts, where they will pay to have the version on more powerful hardware look worse than the version on their hardware. Now we saw that with Microsoft this gen, where some games looked worse on PS4, despite PS4 being objectively the more powerful system. Now, I don't know, this could be a load of hot air and I'm just overthinking things, but I think that might be why you aren't going to see saves carry over. But Ultimate Team saves are kept on the servers, so that's why it carries over for both.
But also, the pro clubs are kept on the servers, aren't they, as well?
It should be.
It should be.
Yeah.
And I see no reason why that shouldn't carry over. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think with FIFA is Ultimate Team makes money, and so does Volta. That because you can buy stuff in store. Voltaire. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people won't be very happy, I don't think, today with that at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, gentlemen, we're nearly out of time. We're really out of time. We've done really well. We've not done our feature again. We're going to save it.
One of these days,
great feature, though.
One day it's going to do it. We're going to keep it. We're going to do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We get a full podcast.
I know.
That one feature.
Yeah, we will.
I will load if I answer the feature Riften. That's all I'll say.
What are you looking forward to next week, you two? James, what have we got?
Well, next... Is it Wednesday? Well, the 14th of October. The Blackpink Documentary debuts on Netflix. So I'll be watching that immediately.
Who are Blackpink?
It's a South Korean pop group who are absolute megastars. Taking over the world.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Is this a documentary going to be like a... Is it going to be a warts and all documentary, or is it a sort
it's
of
a behind-the-scenes look from the early days to now. I don't know how...
the early days. How old are they? 14?
Yeah, I think they're around 25.
All right, okay. But how long have they been going?
Well, they've been training for 10 years. Training? Yeah, they go to a boot camp first, and then get picked from the boot camp.
Wow.
It's a tough life.
Yeah.
But they've been 4 years as an actual group together.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I think it'll be good.
Okay.
I'd highly recommend it.
I'm going to watch it.
Anyone wondering who they are.
Yeah.
Give us your review.
I will do.
Next podcast.
Okay, good. William, what are you looking forward to?
So I am looking forward to two things over the next 2 weeks. Both of them Netflix as well, funnily enough.
Okay.
So next week, I believe next Friday, Aaron Sorkin's movie, his next one.
Oh, yeah.
So he's the writer of Social Network and Steve Jobs. And his next movie, which he's also directed, The Trial of the Chicago 7, is coming to Netflix. Now, I had the privilege of seeing this in theaters, and it's not one to sleep on. It is my favorite movie of the year. It is brilliantly done, and I can't wait to see it again. And then Netflix, not one to be outdone, is releasing an adaptation of the classic novel Rebecca next week. Now, this movie was done. This book has been adapted into film and television many times, most famously by Alfred Hitchcock. And this one is being done by Ben Wheatley, who did Free Fire and High Rise, a bunch of great movies. And this one has Armie Hammer and Lily James in the lead roles. Now, this story is rather special to me because it was my grandmother's favorite story, my late grandmother. She loved the adaptations. She loved the books. It's bittersweet because I think she would have wanted to be here to watch this, but I'll watch it in her honor.
Oh, I like that, William. I like that a lot. Good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch that as well. And the last one thing, I'm looking forward to a game called Cloudpunk that's coming out on the 15th. And
yes.
It looks like a taxi delivery service in a sort of cyberpunk Blade Runner world. And that's all you want. Mid-October.
Of course.
That's all we need.
That's all we need, yeah. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, where can we find you? James, where can we find you?
Well, as always, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at OKidUKO.
Good. William?
You can find me on Twitter at BeerVidGame, and as well, you can find me on the Xbox Hub in the next few days because I am working on a feature all about ZeniMax and Bethesda and the lovely, complicated world of exclusives.
Ooh, we'll look forward to that.
Look forward to that.
And you can find me at GB Briley on Twitter and Twitch. But until next time, thank you very much. And thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.